We would like to begin our program with a report from Miss Akimi Sueki.
This time I covered Talamitsu Shrine, located right beside one of Tokyo's most beautiful parks. The shrine Akimi Sueki visited is located next to Inokashira Park in Mitaka City, Tokyo. She visited this shrine because she had heard that the head of this shrine was a powerful psychic, as well as a world-renowned authority in the research of psychic phenomena. It's 8:30 a.m. and morning meditation is underway. The name of the teacher is Hiroshi Motoyama. He sits silently at the head of the altar in deep meditation. The presence of foreigners is not uncommon here. All believers sit together in meditation. Some come every morning for meditation. Others come only from time to time. Whatever the case, they all sit in the shrine together in silent meditation. After meditation, Dr. Motoyama speaks to his students, answering their questions and giving them helpful advice. The film you have just seen introduced Dr. Motoyama as the head of the shrine. But within the grounds of the Talamitsu Shrine, there is also the Institute for Religious Psychology, of which Dr. Motoyama is also the president. He told me that, if anything, work at this institute occupies more of his time. Dr. Motoyama has written many books on religion and parapsychology, and
We have invited Dr. Motoyama himself to our studio today.
Thank you, Dr. Motoyama, for coming today.
Dr. Motoyama, we've seen some of these books here, and we can't make out whether you're a psychic, a parapsychologist, or a practitioner of yoga. How do you see yourself? What is your main interest?
Since I was a child, I have always sought something akin to universal truth. During my college days, I studied philosophy. However, in the academic world, there seems to be a tendency to get bound up in abstract theories, divorced from the realm of experience. When I tried to fit my personal experiences into this framework, or to explain such experiences to others, I found it difficult. This is why I went into other fields, such as parapsychology and medicine, to seek an objective explanation for these phenomena. Ultimately, the thing I'm always searching for is, what is the truth?
Viewers can get a better understanding of who Dr. Motoyama is, we'd like to take a look at another film now. Dr. Motoyama has possessed psychic powers since his early childhood. His psychic abilities were further developed through the spiritual disciplines he underwent with his mother and foster mother, who were very religious. On February 6, 1932, on Shodoshima Island in southern Japan, Dr. Motoyama's foster mother was saved by the hand of God after she tried to throw herself into the ocean. The Talamitsu Shrine was established according to God's wishes. Both Dr. Motoyama's mother and foster mother were powerful psychics, but his foster mother passed away. Now Dr. Motoyama maintains the shrine with the help of his mother. While undertaking rigorous spiritual disciplines such as meditation under waterfalls, Dr. Motoyama also studied philosophy in college and received his doctorate. He took up yoga, and through diligent practice he has come to where he is today. Actually, Dr. Motoyama's name is more widely known overseas than in Japan. His research on religion and parapsychology has been presented at universities in India and the United States, and also at various international conferences.
Dr. Motoyama, it was Mrs. Matsushita here who had a physical problem, wasn't it?
Well, you may call it physical or spiritual. She had a lot of personal problems and was emotionally very upset. This persisted for a long time until she finally came to me for help. I saw that something in her past life was involved here, which caused this condition. It seems she had been a samurai named Nakanose in her past life who was living in Suwa some 260 years ago.
I went to the local historical society for the records, and there had in fact been such a person.
Past life, she had served a local lord by the name of Kato, who seemed to be involved here. Anyway, we have a record of this here on this slide. As you can see, the vision I had seen is documented in historical.
The elderly lady, who we just saw on the film, was suffering from physical and mental problems resulting from causes in her past life. Dr. Motoyama helped her to resolve the problem, and she has since recovered completely. She was very grateful.
I see. So Dr. Motoyama cured this woman. That's the way it seems. Now we know that Dr. Motoyama is world-renowned as a researcher of religion and parapsychology. As I was looking through some of these books, Dr. Motoyama, I came across the term chakra, which I'm not familiar with. What is it? Could you please explain?
Surely. These days, in our materialistic culture, we assume that our physical body is all that we have. However, I believe that there is a certain energy within us which survives after death. Just as in the film we saw, where the past life of a person was revealed, there is an energy form within us which transmits this information from one life to the next. The chakras can be called the centers where this spiritual energy is converted into material form.
You mean a sort of a bridge between spiritual energy and matter?
That's right. That is how the chakras function.
And every one of us has these.
There are 7 chakras in each individual. We are not only alive in the physical dimension, but also in higher spiritual dimensions as well. When a person awakens in the spiritual dimensions by making efforts such as in spiritual discipline, the chakras become visible to him as rings of light. In fact, the original meaning of the word chakra is ring of light.
I see. So maybe the psychic ability of a person is determined by which one of the chakras are awakened. Am I right?
That is correct. In Japanese psychics, the Manipura chakra in the center, related to the stomach and digestion, is active most often.
You mean this one by the navel?
That's it. When the Manipura is activated, it makes a person capable of seeing and hearing in the spiritual dimension, that is, clairvoyance and clairaudience. When the Anahata chakra is awakened, this gives a person the power to move objects or to emit light. And also, such people become...
So, you're saying that all psychics are persons who have awakened chakras?
Yes, without exception. This fact has been known in India and Europe for many centuries. India especially has a great amount of literature related to this subject.
Then, is it possible that anyone, by practicing spiritual disciplines, can awaken their chakras?
That's right.
Can one's spiritual abilities be enhanced through the practice of yoga?
That's the original purpose of yoga. Anybody can become psychic by practicing yoga for a time, after which the chakras will awaken naturally. The point is that one must not stop practicing after acquiring such psychic abilities. We must go on further to seek enlightenment.
You mean that rather than being limited to our present outlook, we should go beyond our present insight?
Seeing into the future may be important, but even that is just a temporal phenomenon. We must transcend this world to where we can remain detached from it while still continuing to sustain and guide those who are still enmeshed in life. Chakras can become the bridge leading to the attainment of this ultimate goal.
Dr. Motoyama, I noticed that one of the chakras is located right on the forehead. I know that Indian women wear a mark there between their eyes. Is this related to the chakras?
That's right. That is a symbol of the Ajna chakra. You can see it here on the diagram. It's also called the third eye.
I get the impression as I'm listening to this that the origin of these ideas are distinctly Oriental. Dr. Motoyama, are you also studying the other aspects of Oriental philosophy, such as acupuncture?
As a matter of fact, this is of great interest to me. The chakras collect the energy pervading the universe and convert this to physical energy, which animates our body. This is closely related to the concept in Oriental medicine of acupuncture points and meridians. The original concept of ki energy circulating in the body comes from the Sanskrit word prana. When this energy is circulating well throughout the body, a person is healthy. There is a method whereby this circulation of ki around the body can be facilitated. It's called the circulation of light exercise.
Can you do it by yourself?
Yes, you can do it by yourself. It involves a special breathing technique.
I understand. So, the Meridian exercises were developed to promote the circulation of ki in the body.
Meridian exercises are special exercises which I developed for facilitating the ki circulation.
I myself took part in this exercise session, which is being shown. The exercises may look simple, but actually they aren't quite as easy as they appear.
These exercises are for limbering up the joints. As you may know, more than 60% of the human body is made of water, such as that contained in blood.
Yes, I see.
That is why, if this fluid in our bodies circulates well, our metabolism will function well. However, if this is not the case, symptoms will appear at the place where this congestion occurs. The place where this type of blockage is most likely to occur is in The exercise shown on the screen right now is particularly good for stiff shoulders.
Dr. Motoyama, what are you doing there?
There, I am checking the condition of ki circulation in the person's body by holding my hand several inches away from his body. I check the head as well as the spinal area to see how the flow of ki is in these vital areas.
Isn't that interesting?
With people who have too much ki accumulated in the top half of their bodies, I can feel a very definite twinge, almost like an itch.
You mean you can feel that?
Well, I see. Maybe you could give me a once-over one of these days.
Most people aren't convinced just by these demonstrations, so that's why I constructed a machine to measure this energy.
A machine?
Yes, everybody believes a machine, don't they?
Feeling something invisible by just holding your hand next to it is rather unbelievable.
So the subjects, the people you're inspecting, are emitting this ki energy, and you, Dr. Motoyama, have the ability to sense this. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
The amazing machine which detects this energy exists in Dr. Motoyama's laboratory, and with this device, the ki energy can be monitored scientifically.
Slow down just 1 minute. This is too much all at once. I'm getting mixed up. The people were interviewed in our previous programs were persons who got special messages from God or who spent many years in spiritual disciplines to gain their psychic abilities. Are you telling me that this machine can detect whether a person actually has this ability?
That's right. You thought it was invisible, didn't you? Now it can be recorded and visually verified by a scientific method.
You mean that it can be substantiated scientifically?
Yes.
chakra machine. What do you know?
What an interesting name for a machine.
Well, folks, it's time for another commercial, so we'll be back with more on the chakra machine in just a minute.
The chakra machine is able to detect whether a person actually possesses psychic power or not. This device was invented by Dr. Motoyama. Akimi, I'd like for you to report a little more on what you saw at Dr. Motoyama's laboratory.
Gladly. When I first stepped into the room, it seemed like a hospital room or something with lots of machines and instruments everywhere. The room shown is the chakra room, which Dr. Motoyama himself designed.
It's a completely shielded room.
The walls look like copper plating.
That's exactly what it is. The room is completely covered inside and out with copper plating, and this is grounded to shield the room from any static or stray electrical waves. Between these copper plates, there is a solid concrete wall with lead plates in the middle which completely encircle the room. This shields the chakra room from all external influences such as cosmic rays and electricity, as well as light.
I see. So all outside influences are shut out.
The psychic person is seated in this room and monitored.
They are measured to see whether they are actually able to produce energy from places like the chakras, as mentioned before. If they are able to produce psychic energy, they are usually able to convert this to physical energy. Psychic persons often have an active anahata or heart chakra. This center usually is active in psychics and is a connecting point between spiritual and physical energy. Men such as Jesus Christ had a highly developed anahata chakra. This is often depicted in religious paintings as his sacred heart.
Again.
Here, it can be seen on the figure in the diagram. In the astral dimension, this chakra can be seen radiating yellow and orange colored light.
I hate to be a skeptic, but can you really tell such things with a machine? Can it really prove the presence of psychic power?
The machine can't detect the psychic power itself. Rather, it detects the change occurring when psychic energy is converted into physical energy, such as the production of electricity, light, sound waves, or a mechanical force which may be able to bend objects. Special sensors are placed in the chakra room to pick up any such changes.
It seemed rather hard to believe for me at first as well, especially since it was all so complicated. But Dr. Motoyama even has a videotape of a chakra giving off light, which was filmed in this room.
That sounds interesting.
There aren't very many cases in the world where such phenomena have been recorded on video.
I suppose you will be announcing this in your next international conference.
I plan to visit the United States in June, where I will be making a presentation.
We have this tape at our studio now, and we'd like to show you this rare film.
See that light? That is a purplish glow, close to ultraviolet in color. It brightens and dims down to where you can just barely see it. It constantly moves around and changes its shape. The person who produced this light is an American of Jewish descent, who's from a family line of many spiritually gifted persons.
So this is a light produced by a psychic person. Where is the light coming from?
It's being emitted from the navel area, in the region of the Manipura chakra and Swadhisthana chakra.
Those chakras are the ones that have been awakened, aren't they? Can anybody do this, so long as they have these chakras awakened?
Yes, they can. Persons who have awakened their chakras are all capable of such feats, especially when the chakra becomes active, such as the Swadhisthana. Many of the faith healers around Tokyo even have active Swadhisthana chakras, which they use to cure people. The person who was filmed here is able to use the same type of energy.
What do you think, Dr. Motoyama? Considering the whole world and the number of psychics in each country, does Japan have a large or small number of psychics compared to the other countries?
I think that Japan probably has a comparatively large number of psychics. There seems to be a tendency for there to be more psychics in the warmer countries, such as India. Also, PK phenomena occur more easily in hot environments, where things are in a more active state. PK phenomena, like we just saw, take place more easily when there is a certain amount of tension already present. This is because the energy produced conducts just like electricity through the tension already present in the object or environment.
We've had many individuals with psychic power appear on our show in these past few weeks, but we never thought that they were all utilizing basically the same resource.
Many people consult such psychic persons and seek help for their individual problems, but they probably have no idea what they're dealing with.
So there are a lot of neurotic people around these days. Dr. Motoyama, I'm sure that there are a lot of different types of psychics, but what should a person be careful about when choosing to consult such an individual?
Well, one thing I feel is that the people who seek help from psychic persons and seers these days are a bit lazy.
Lazy? What does that mean?
Well, although such people have the potential ability to harness the unlimited power within themselves, they often expect help without even trying to work on it themselves. It's like someone who doesn't get a driver's license but is always asking others for rides when he needs them, without ever learning to drive himself. Once his problems are taken care of, he hops off and forgets everything about how he got there until the next time he needs help. That's not the way it's supposed to be. A psychic person can only help by acting as a sort of midwife. Psychics can help people in that sense, but they can't really solve the problem or cure diseases in the true sense. After all, the solution to the problem awaits the individual's spiritual and physical development. When a person truly begins to develop spiritually, he will become capable of dealing with and correcting many of his physical problems, as well as mental problems, such as neurosis. Power, such as PK, will develop naturally. Just by wishing for a certain outcome, the results will manifest themselves. Seeking the consultation of a psychic without making any efforts in this direction by oneself is not really a good thing at all. For this, I feel that practices such as yoga and zazen are very useful.
Yes, I agree. It seems that most of us are too concerned with our immediate gains and losses to give such things much thought. As for the innate ability which everyone has, we humans are very talented as far as being lazy. We seem to have native ability for just goofing off.
Yes, if left to our own devices, we take it just as easy as we could.
Well, there were some really important points raised by Dr. Motoyama today, and as I've had a chance to talk to many psychics in the past few weeks, I've come to realize that maybe God isn't necessarily almighty in terms of working out all of our problems. It seems He will lend us a helping hand, but ultimately, it will be left up to each one of us to resolve our own problems.
That's so right. We must work out our own problems by ourselves.
The ladies who did the reporting for us probably got this idea well ingrained into them. I think that the role of midwife is quite an appropriate expression for the work of psychics.
That's right. In that capacity, they are doing the world a great service.
I see.
I'm so glad that you were able to visit us here at the studio today, Dr. Motoyama. It was certainly fascinating.
Yes, indeed. I found it very informative. Thank you very much, Dr. Motoyama.